Yo,
Yes, sir.
can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Let me
Yo.
just make sure because I'm in like the top right corner only on mine. So let me make sure that it's not like that on
Oh, shoot. Oh, we're live right
online.
now.
Yeah, I put it live before you jumped in just so that we could like send out the link right away.
Yeah.
Oh shit. I don't know what's happening. Let me just make sure.
Oh, yeah. It's only got you in there.
Yeah, it only has you in there
Oh, no, there we
for
go.
me.
Put it to gallery view.
Oh, okay. Gallery view. Oh, there we go. All right. Just needs a second. All right.
Say let's
Let's
just jump
post this
into it.
link. We got a lot to talk about tonight.
Yeah, that's
How are you
that's
feeling about it? Actually, I'm
crazy.
not even gonna bother asking. We'll talk about it on the show.
Yeah,
Like,
save it for the show.
yeah, seriously, get these takes off.
That was crazy day. Crazy day. The link.
I just texted you it so I could copy it.
Perfect. I don't know why it's not letting me.
I literally only use this story to post this show. Like I made it at like the beginning of break, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna put up like funny stuff on it, and I was like, no,
I'm like addicted to putting stuff on my story.
yeah, your story pops off. You got
Okay.
shit to share.
All right, let's give this a
All right,
second. Let me send this to here. Here.
6
Crazy.
subscribers is better numbers than I thought we were doing.
Yeah. And I think the first video we had like 50 views.
Do we really?
Yeah, which is pretty solid.
That could have
And
been
we
in
got three
part
people
because
in
we were
here. I
going
say
back
let's.
and trying to figure it out like a
Hmm?
100 times.
Oh yeah.
That could be in part because yeah. All right. Um.
I think I say let's just go in because we got three people in here right now.
Hell yeah. All right. Let's
All
run it.
right. So this is this league. Shane Rebex, Jake Mazaka, remote. Is anything happen recently? Anything to discuss? I don't really know.
Um. Nah, just like a couple of COVID things. Nothing crazy.
Yeah, the league's gonna shut down from COVID. I
Hmm.
mean, yes, sir. Crazy,
So
craziness.
take 5 minutes and just give your thoughts on it.
So, all
What
right.
happened today?
So obviously the whole Kyrie thing was happening recently. I thought that was going to be the big thing we were talking about. I was preparing my monologue last night, and then the Harden thing happened in the press conference where he was like, "We're not good enough. I'm out." Pretty much. Thank you. And then so I really thought he was going to go to the Sixers. That was my uh, thought. I thought he was going to Sixers, and but he this year, I mean, today just kind of came out of nowhere. They traded. I have it right here. Nets trade. Where is it? Here we go. Nets get James Harden. Rockets get Victor Oladipo Dante Exum, Rodions Kurucs, 3 Brooklyn first rounders, 1 Milwaukee first rounder, 4 Brooklyn first round swaps, which is so all in all, they got 8 first round picks. Pacers got LeVert and a second rounder, and the Cavs got Jared Allen, Taurean Prince. All in all, I think it's a good deal for all sides. I think the Rockets get better with Oladipo. I think he fits the culture better. Obviously, you get all those picks. Pacers get LeVert, who's going to be a stud for them. He's going to be the main ball handler for them. And then the Cavs get Jared Allen, who's a big piece, and they got I think they got a pick in it too. So all in all, and then the Nets get their guy, get James Harden, which I don't get how people don't want James Harden. I'd rather more star players than less star players. I think obviously there's the concern about
it's always weird to see a guy.
You're cutting in and out. Nope. All right, I'll just go. I can't
Line.
Oh, you're cutting in and out here.
Oh boy. Hold on. I'm gonna try to move.
There you go. Signs out, whatever. But yeah, I mean, I want more superstar players on my team as opposed to less, especially with the whole Kyrie thing. Who knows what's up with him? I think this is just insurance for.
He's just gonna retire. I'm hearing.
That's the number was more than 0 from what I heard. That the percentage that he would retire is more than 0. But so if he does retire,
definitely higher than it should be.
Yeah, especially for a 28-year-old player or however old he is. But this, even if Kyrie doesn't play, which I think we all knew Kyrie wasn't going to play every single game, thought it'd be more than 30% of the games. But even if he doesn't play, now you still have 2 superstar players, and you still have a championship opportunity. And I think everyone's talking about James Harden. He quit on his team. I think he'll be fine. Give it 2 weeks. He'll be back in shape. He'll be putting up 40-point games. He'll be fine. He'll be fine.
Now, the problem here is there's only one ball. And Harden
People
and Kyrie
say
both
that.
like
People
to dribble
say
the
that.
air out of the ball.
People say that. I mean,
It has to be addressed. There's one ball. It's 3 guys that like to take 25 step back. He is the obvious answer. He's the only one out of the 3 that doesn't have an MVP, and he's the one that I think is most likely not want to take a step back.
Fair. That's a fair point. My rebuttal is James Harden has played off the ball before. He was a great cutter, slasher in OKC. Kyrie, when he's in the game, he'll make the right decision with the ball. It's not like he's jacking up shots when he knows he has 2 guys who can shoot, and Kevin Durant is going to do whatever he wants for the team. He played with Steph and Clay and on the Warriors, so he knows how to share the ball. What was I going to say?
That's the point I was hoping you'd get into that.
The one ball thing. Do you think Harden doesn't know that? He chose the Nets for a reason. I think he doesn't think that he's going to come in and do the Rockets thing again. He's not going to dribble till 5 seconds left on a shot clock and take a step back 3. He knows what he's getting into. I tweeted this. They had the best offense in the league first 2 games, right? When everyone was healthy, with the starting lineup of Kyrie, Dinwiddie, Joe Harris, Durant, and DeAndre Jordan. And what you're doing with that, you're replacing Dinwiddie with James Harden, who's one of the best scorers of all time. So I don't see how this is in any way a negative.
I don't see how it can be, but I'm just trying to ruffle your feathers a little bit. Another point I have is their benches. That's an actual problem. Their bench is legitimately awful now.
Okay, here's my thing with the bench.
They trade all of their actual solid depth. Dinwiddie's out for the season. He's hurt. Now you're going to try to run a lineup of Kyrie, Joe Harris, Harden, KD and who? Jeff Green or DeAndre Jordan. Both of those guys stink. And who's your sixth man?
Definitely need
the odd man out of DeAndre and Jeff Green.
Probably. You still have some guys on the bench. You still have Shamit if he can start shooting the ball. You have TLC.
Yeah.
You got Bruce Brown. Hopefully Claxton can get healthy because I really think he's going to be a good piece.
But you're definitely going to need his height because you don't have it right now.
Yeah, two issues were defending and rebounding for the Nets, and I think this trade doesn't really address that at all. So they got 3 open roster spots now, so they can get a guy, get a veteran big
crossover,
get Jamal Crawford again. Hopefully he'll play longer than 5 minutes. Yeah. But yeah, they'll be fine. And the whole depth thing is completely overrated.
Now, I don't think it is. We just saw the Miami Heat go to the NBA Finals last year with their biggest strength being depth. I don't think you can just write that off.
And on the flip side, the Lakers only played 7 guys.
True, but two of them were AD. 2 of them were AD and LeBron.
Yeah, and the Nets have 3 top 15 players, 2 top 10 players.
Yeah, but they don't have the top 2 players.
That's fair. But the playoffs, you're playing 8 guys maximum. That's what it comes down to. You're playing 8 guys, and I think
you have 4. You have 4 that can legitimate that.
Yeah. He's frozen. You're cutting in and out here. Hello?
Oh boy. I'm trying to get these takes off. My internet is not.
There you go. What'd you say?
I'm saying that. Oh, am I cutting again?
No, you're good.
No. So if you play in the playoffs, that's the big 3 of Kyrie comes back. And then after that, you put in Joe Harris, who's a 3-and-D guy. No way around it. You put in Claxton's going to get minutes. Jeff Green. The best thing that Jeff Green brings to the team is that he can recreate the video. I can't believe we didn't begin with Jeff Green. They can make the video.
That's true. That is true. Oh shoot! I forgot about that. They have all the pieces. I completely went over my head. Yeah, we're working on it, Jackson. We do have some technical difficulties here. Hello?
Hello.
There you go. Oh. You're like
so what I was gonna say is that the problem here is, at least the general reaction is, hey, this is gonna be a chemistry concern. But Spin Zone, that video solves all problems. Jeff Green, Harden, and KD on the team bus, and they film them talk, and it got ballistic on the internet, and the whole team loves each other. Kyrie is singing and dancing, and everybody loves each other. If they don't make the video, Kyrie retires.
Yeah.
No way, no in-betweens here. I'm not listening to any other arguments.
Winning cures all. If they go on a run here and they win a bunch of games, I don't think anyone's talking about chemistry issues. I think it's going to be a rocky start. I think the first 2 weeks are going to be tough, with Harden trying to play back into shape.
I agree.
And just figuring out that whole dynamic and trying to fit Kyrie back into it whenever he comes back, if he comes back. But once they get acclimated with each other, they're great players. Figure out how to win. They'll figure it out. Yes. They'll be a top team in the East, and I'm very excited for the playoff matchups that could come of this. I think Nets Sixers would be a great series. I think Nets Celtics would be an interesting series. obvious reasons. I think Nets
Yes.
Bucks would be. I think the Nets match up so much better with the Bucks. I think the Nets, because who's going to I mean, you got Drew Holiday, but the Bucks really don't scare me.
I mean, you don't have anybody that can guard Giannis, even
I
kind
think
of.
Durant.
He's gonna give Durant 40, but that's all right. Like I think that the Nets, the best. They always say the best offense is a good defense. I think in the NBA the opposite can be true. The best defense is a good offense.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the Nets can give up 125 in a playoff game, but as long as they score 126, they're fine. So
Which I think they're going to average like 125 for the
at
rest
least,
of the year.
dude, you
Because
have
they
you
just get
have
out and
three
run.
players that are mortal locks to guarantee to score 20 a game.
Yeah.
All three of them.
Joe Harris is never going to have a contested jumper again.
He is literally going to be able to wear a blindfold on the court,
He's going to be
and it's not going to
wide
matter.
open every single time.
Yes.
And going back to the depth thing, I did say. I think the big thing here is who's going to emerge as a backup big, because I really like Claxton. I hope he can get healthy, and because they're going to need either one of these rookies or young guys, Claxton or Reggie Perry, to give them good minutes, and they're going to need DeAndre Jordan to get in a time machine and take it back to 2012. Because
I think he's going to be very motivated to do that, seeing what the other guys are bringing.
he can be motivated all he wants. He can't move.
Yeah.
That's
There was a time that we were on this same exact planet where people were putting DeAndre Jordan up into that tier of player where he was like widely considered on the Clippers to be a whatever you want to call it, top 15, top 25 player. He wasn't, but it was definitely in discussion. Now, I don't even know that people consider him a starter.
Oh no.
However, you have no more Jared Allen. The only other option when you play Embiid, you need DeAndre Jordan to be able to play at least 25 minutes for you, minimum.
Which is
it's a lot to ask of him.
It's a lot, but
so that tells me the Nets can't be done. They have to go out and get another piece, but it can't be a major piece. They don't have the space to get it. Well, I think you have to look at bigs on the trade market. Cutting block.
The Cavs have a plethora of bigs. I could see
certainly
Drummond getting bought out or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they need a big and they need another wing defender. That's the two things that they need. So yeah. We'll see, man. But I mean, kind of crazy. 4 years ago, they had no draft picks, no like assets whatsoever. And now they got 3 of the top 15 players in the league.
And you have to give them credit that, Kyrie and KD don't sign there as free agents if they don't use those shitty draft picks well. Because they didn't even have their own draft picks and they were just using stuff that they got for, back end career trades and stuff. They ended up putting together a decent roster. They traded for D'Lo. If the Nets win a ring, D'Lo should get one.
Everyone on that team should get one on that 2019 team, they're the reason why Durant and Kyrie wanted to play here. So
because you had Jared Dudley and the boys on the bench just dancing, mobbing, and it was a great culture in Brooklyn. And now you can't even argue it's the same culture. It's different, but
oh no.
I think that having Steve Nash at the helm, Amari Stoudemire is one of their assistants.
Yeah,
right?
He's a player development guy.
Mm-hmm. So having those two guys plus I know there are other coaches, you know them better than I do, but they have the coaching staff that I feel like is a very player oriented coaching staff. Steve Nash is not the guy that is focusing on the X's and O's. He's in there to focus on getting the guys focused and ready. And this Kyrie was in Boston for 2 years. This stuff just like happens with him. He is like the strangest human alive. So I just don't see this time being any different than any others. He's going to come back and give us some like dragon energy explanation. And then he's going to go and he's going to drop 30 in Atlanta. Like that's all it is.
if he plays. Here's my thing with Kyrie. All right, I was gonna have this whole long spiel. I'm the biggest Kyrie
Well, we
defender.
still have time for it.
Yeah, but it doesn't
I'd love to
really
hear it.
doesn't hold the same weight. But when Kyrie gets signed with the Nets, I took the place as the biggest Kyrie defender on the planet, right? I but the
As you
thing is,
should.
because he's my guy, he's the face of the franchise, one of the faces of the franchise. I have to defend my guy. I did it with everyone on the Nets. I said Darren Williams was the best point guard in the league until like 2015. So I defend the guys on the Nets, but it's just always something with him. And some of it, I get some of it is kind of taken out of context by the media and people kind of like twist his words and stuff like that. But there's some things that he's done that are just like bonehead moves and hurt the team. There was the report early in the preseason last year that he like didn't want to take off his hat, didn't want to do two-a-days, didn't want to take off his hat for a team picture, all that stuff. That kind of draws some red flags. And then later in the year when they lose to I think the Sixers on national TV, they get like the doors blown off against them. He says it's obvious we need some more guys besides me, Durant, DeAndre Jordan, and Garrett Temple. He failed to mention Joe Harris, failed to mention Jared Allen, which like he didn't have to say that. He could have just said tough loss, we'll be back. We got Childill in the chat saying Antonio Brown of the NBA. It's a solid comparison. And then
Childill, good point.
This whole thing, I'm fine. I'm fine with him missing games for personal reasons. And I'm fine with him not wanting to share those personal reasons. They're personal. You can do whatever you want. But I'm not fine with them partying at a club in New Jersey the day after they get the doors blown off of them against the who do they lose
in
to?
The middle of a pandemic, no
in
less.
the middle of a pandemic, no masks, just dancing it up, having a great time.
And honestly, from a fan perspective, like the COVID thing is one thing. The real concern from the basketball standpoint is now it's not just irresponsible with the disease. It's he has to miss a week just because of that.
Yeah.
And he was already taking games off just because he just didn't feel like playing.
Yeah.
That's a legitimate concern. It has to be.
I look like an idiot now because I was actually concerned about his well-being. I thought like something was happening in his family or something. And I was like, it's disgusting that we're trying to figure out what his issue is. But then it just from that video, it's obvious that he just didn't want to play. Like you can't be like that upset over whatever that you're partying with no mask in the middle of a pandemic. Like that, it was obvious he just doesn't want to play. And now the guys who we're going to have to answer for that is everyone but Kyrie. Everyone, like Durant's going to have to answer for him. Steve Nash is already losing it.
Sticking his neck out and he doesn't even know what's going on.
Yeah, he's giving petty answers. I think last game, someone asked him, is he going to come back at any point this year? And he said, sure. So he's already fed up with it. I don't know. Everyone but Kyrie is going to have to answer for Kyrie. And that's been the thing for the past year now. So that's my Kyrie spiel.
Yeah. So my take on it is I think that one, Kyrie was just warming up for Harden to come to town so that he could get his strip club legs under him. Because this didn't just happen overnight. Like there had been mumblings about this for months. I think the stars had to have been informed. But at the same time, it's reckless and stupid. But I think Kyrie, this has been a concern for him since he got out of Cleveland. Like when he was in Cleveland, he would always like overshadowed by LeBron, and LeBron is so business all the time that he could kind of keep his ass in line. But once Kyrie got out on his own without his metaphorical basketball dad, he just like he does these crazy, weird, strange things. And like when he was in Boston, he would, the famous thing, he gets up on the mic and says, I plan on signing here if you'll have me back. Like, just like he says nonsense that he doesn't need to say just because he can. And similar last when he called out the whole, like, all of the scoring outside of him and Durant, and said that, like, they just had Garrett Temple and DeAndre Jordan, who the weirdest two guys to pick. But Kyrie at 26 years old would be sitting at press conferences in Boston and say, oh, like, some of the young guys don't understand what it takes to win. It's like, dude, you, like, just pretty much just calling out Jaylen Brown without naming him. And it's the way he is. And I've seen reports from not blue check marks, so definitely just like somebody like us just trying to get takes out there. But they're saying that Kyrie's relationship with Durant is terrible right now.
Oh, I saw that guy. No, that guy knows nothing.
I'm into it. I'm all over
it.
That
guy knows
Shane,
nothing.
I believe it.
Yeah, this guy, Tommy D, who is an SNY journalist who's not verified with 13,000 followers, is the only one who knows what Kyrie and Durant's relationship is like. Okay, yeah, buddy. That's why Kyrie has fans, because there's people like this who just try to leech off everyone hating Kyrie because he left LeBron and do stuff like that.
Certainly.
I don't know.
I'm all in on problems in Brooklyn, though. But then again, I do have to go back to my take before. If they create the video, everything is saved.
Oh yeah, everything. That should be like part of the deal to sign him, to make the trade, that Sean Marks had to be like, all right, James, we're gonna bring you in, but first you have to recreate the video. They should do it like,
yes, no, like they'll be like, listen, man, here's my cell phone, video it for us, please. I got the music going. Let's play it.
The Nets haven't said anything.
I feel like we might have some new listeners tonight. I'm gonna pull up the video just to show them what.
Oh yeah, we do have some new people. Yeah, if you don't know what we're talking about, but while you're pulling that up, the Nets haven't said anything on Twitter yet, or anything on any social media yet, and they play a game in a half hour. But this should be how they announce it. The trade, just give the raw video of just them in the hotel room singing the song.
Say
yeah. I saw it on my Twitter feed, actually. I don't know if
I got it right here.
There we go.
In the front.
Yeah.
Oh, baby, what's your name?
For all the kids out there, this video literally invented TikTok itself. And that wasn't like all of the like crazy lights and stuff in there. That wasn't me just holding up my phone wrong. That was legitimately the editing they put in on that video.
That's
the greatest basketball video of all time.
Yeah, that video was taken on photo booth.
A potato.
Booth on an old 2008 Mac, and then edited in iMovie. All right.
This was a desktop Mac they were using. Like, it had to have been.
We got some thoughts in the chat from Kevin Raybex. Here's a wild thought that might make no sense. What about trading Kyrie to get bench depth, maybe some picks they lost, locker room cancer? Brian is right.
That's a take that I'm all the way behind.
No one wants Kyrie.
Trade Kyrie.
If you're the Nets, who do you want for Kyrie? Who
a big and wing defense.
For Kyrie. I want to do it for
Send Kyrie to Golden State, bring back Wiseman and Andrew Wiggins, you get a ring.
I do that if they cut Wiggins right after.
Nope, Wiggins has to play. Actually, Wiggins is going to start. Harden, sixth man.
And that's the thing too. I did want to bring this up. People say one ball. It's not like those three are only gonna play together at once.
That's what they've been doing so far, Shane.
No. That was what they did for the first week, and then they started staggering minutes. And come playoff time, there's going to be two of those guys on the floor at any given point. It's not like it's going to be all James Harden, Kevin Durant, and Kyrie Irving, or no James Harden, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving. It's going to be a combination of the two.
Man, the minutes where it's just Kyrie and Harden out there, they might fight.
Yeah, just
because they're both just going to be like, oh, we don't got Durant. Like, I get to get my shots up. Let's go. And then they're like, no, my turn. No, we don't take turns. I'm an MVP.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a ring.
Kyrie is the one who's going to have to take a backseat here because he's, without a doubt.
I think Charles makes a good point in the chat. Jackie Moon to Brooklyn.
I'd take Jackie Moon.
You just lost an afro.
Yeah.
So you bring in Jackie Moon.
If they can get rights to his song, if you can get the rights to his song, whatever, I forget what the song is called, but that's a #1 hit right there. Someone has to want.
Sure, all in.
Someone has to want Win Now. You guys would know better than me than him. Yeah, I don't think anyone really wants to take on Kyrie right now. Oh, and here's the other thing with the Kyrie situation. This is the team that he wanted, right? This was literally the situation he wanted with who he wanted, and he's still quitting on the team.
Grass is always greener on the other side.
Yeah, exactly. Anything else?
I am trying to think of a legitimate trade that they could actually make to get Kyrie out. Something that would actually help the Nets.
Something a Bradley Beal.
I just don't see.
Bradley Beal would be an interesting.
I mean, then you really got to talk about there's just one ball, because then you have two serious volume scorers, and that's like actually a problem. Kyrie's at least a playmaker.
Mm-hmm. Please get Roll Magic trending on Twitter, please. Yeah, I like the Magic.
We have that power.
Yeah,
Charlie, we're working on it.
You say the word, we'll do it. All right, let's get some questions.
You say jump, we ask how high.
Can we get some questions in the chat here? Because
about
anything. You want to talk James Harden? You want to talk anything? We can answer. Oh, by the way, that Harden press conference last night, one of the wilder things I've ever seen. That was just crazy.
That was insanity.
It was crazy. That was just like, we are bad at basketball. The situation isn't going to be fixed. See you later. He called the Rockets bluff. The Rockets were like, we're willing to get uncomfortable. And he was like, all right, how uncomfortable are you willing to get? Obviously not this uncomfortable, considering they traded him less than 12 hours later.
I think we need to do an investigation. And the evidence is going to be easier to find than it would have been if we had launched it before he got traded. But I think Harden was wearing a fat suit in pregame warmups. He has the team think he was fat. Because
he's got 8 layers underneath there.
Yeah, if you gain weight that quickly, I mean, James Harden was thick as shit. Like, he was just fat in that video. You get titties when you get fat like that. He didn't. He looked like all NBA player James Harden, but he just had like a huge gut and it went all around his midsection somehow. I don't buy it. I think he was wearing a fat suit.
Yeah. I think he wanted to do that just to get more people like, oh, look at him. Oh, yeah. I don't think that video, those pictures are real for a second. Because then when he takes them off, he looks big, but he doesn't look like.
But he's always
chunky.
Been big, kind of.
Yeah. Here's a Harden looking good in the new Nets jerseys.
Yeah. He's thick.
Mark Henry. He's big.
Another Kevin Vax question. Rockets and Pacers new looks. I think the Rockets got better.
Rockets definitely got better. I think
because I
Oladipo is
just
going to be a big piece for them.
yeah, and I think that I mean obviously James Harden is a better player than Victor Oladipo, but this James Harden where he's just a locker room cancer and he doesn't want to be in Houston anymore and he's just causing problems with the media and he's wearing a fat suit before games and going to Vegas, like it's a problem. Oladipo doesn't do that. He's on an expiring. He's trying to get Max the hell up this summer. He's gonna grind. He's gonna play every game for this team. And you had Christian Wood, who is an MVP candidate because he's the best player to ever touch a basketball.
Sure.
Um, and then
He's
you have
real good.
John Wall and Boogie, who are just trying to make some magic happen after they both
John
just like
Wall,
shot their legs off. And then they were like, "Hey, let's make this Kentucky Magic work." And they're like, "All right, word."
John Wall looks pretty good this year. I don't know what his stats are, but
He
if he can
does.
stay healthy, he looks solid. They're just like a
He's
fun
just
team
happy
to
to be
watch.
wearing red, man. That's all it is.
And I think the reason why they got blown out last night is because they were wearing those blue jerseys. Because John Wall can't wear blue. He can't be seen in blue.
Can't do it.
So
He
he
hates it. He
has
at
to.
least needs like at least in Washington they had like a red stripe or something.
Yeah. At least it was like the American
Yeah.
flag. So it's like, okay. But
Yeah.
what's his
Yeah. And when he wears blues, he starts putting up the gang signs mid game. Like
is he a blood or is he a Crip? I don't know what his gang affiliation is.
I
I
don't
just
know.
know there is gang affiliation.
I don't know, but him putting up the gang sign in the middle of a game is like an all-time video. And the best part about it is his apology was just like, sorry, I won't do it again. You're not just like, I'm not in a gang. He never said
Yeah, he didn't say that. But yeah, I think the
like he's
Rockets.
confirmed gang member.
Oh yeah, 100%. The Rockets definitely. I think they make the playoffs. They're at least a top 10 team in the West for sure.
I think,
think they
they
can
do have a
probably
lot
get-
of depth.
They can get past. Yeah, they still have like Daniel House. They still have Eric Gordon. They're a solid team. I think they
Where
can
did
probably get.
they sent Ariza away for picks, right? Like that Rocco
Yeah.
trade just ended up with picks for them.
I think so. Yeah.
I think they
But-
have to kind of regret that right now because Rocco would fit real well with the guys they have right now.
Yeah.
Like if you run a John Wall, Oladipo, Rocco, Christian Wood, Boogie, that's
Solid lineup.
playoffs comfortably.
Yeah. It's a solid lineup. I think they can still avoid any play-in games. I think they could get a 6 seed in the West.
I think so too.
That lineup.
I mean, there are 4 teams that are comfortably better than them out west. It's both LA teams, Denver, and then I'd say Portland questionable.
Portland maybe, or the Jazz. The Jazz haven't been great.
I'm
So I
down on
think-
Utah, but I agree they do have a chance. But yeah, Houston's up there. They have to be.
If they can just, it's all about staying healthy for them. That's
Mhm.
really what it comes down to.
Which
and
is a legitimate question for Boogie and
Yeah.
John Wall.
for a team led by Boogie and John Wall. And then for the Pacers, I think that's just going to be the Karis LeVert show. It's going to be Karis, you get any shot you want, go ahead. It's going to be him in the bubble. And I
Dude,
think
him and Sabonis is going to go crazy. And Malcolm Brogdon adding some 3-and-D. Miles Turner just like only playing defense is perfect.
yeah,
I mean, the Pacers absolutely fleeced the Rockets getting, was it Karras in a second for Oladipo?
yeah.
They should have sent the second with Oladipo.
Mhm.
Because Oladipo's on an
not playing.
expiring. Karras still has 2 years left.
on a like a team friendly deal. Like he's not
Yeah,
getting that
very.
much. I think Karis is a very good pick and roll player, so I think him and Sabonis pick and roll is going to be good.
I think he's the biggest winner out of this whole trade. Team, player, anybody. I think he's the biggest winner because he was going to have to run the 6th man role, or he could have gotten into the starting lineup and just played off ball the whole time. Now he gets to have the rock in his hands, play his game in a city where there's really not that much pressure on him. He's not in the New York media anymore.
Yeah,
granted,
he
he's
gets the
kind of
key
like
to the
a
castle.
mellow guy. He wasn't really getting ripped apart like that, but
Yeah, but he gets the keys to the castle. He gets his own offense to run now. What else?
Charlie, I'm with you on the Nuggets. I think they're too talented to keep this up.
Yeah, that was
Jamal
crazy
Murray
last
started
night.
off slow. I don't know that we're necessarily going to see bubble Jamal Murray again, at least not consistently, but he'll put up 40 to 50 in a couple of games. Jokic is getting to Hall of Fame levels of good. And
Yeah, no, he's
Michael Porter
ridiculous.
Jr., you still got to unleash Bull. I can't wait to see what RJ Hampton can do out there. But losing Jamari Grant is very bad. I don't know how they let that happen, but it's
Yeah,
all right.
and replace him with Jermichael Green, who's like solid, but he's not a great piece. That was crazy last night. They played the Nets.
Mhm.
They were blowing the doors off them for 2.5 quarters, and then just stopped making shots. They decided not to shoot the ball again, not make any shots. But I think
Yeah.
Michael Porter Jr. Being out right now with COVID is definitely tough for them. Kind of ironic. Michael Porter Jr. has COVID, considering his
I
thoughts
know,
about
seriously.
who do you got making it out of the East? Says Lucky Venom 27. I have the Nets making it out of the East. I think they're just better than everyone.
Blow hard.
Yeah, I mean, what can I say? I think it's just they got the most talent. They got the most.
I'd love to say I have the Celtics coming out of the East. I don't think that this Harden trade puts the Nets like way above everybody else because they had to give up so much of their like active roster. But they're comfortably the best team in the NBA in the East. But I'm not willing to say the Celtics. If the Celtics can use that trade exception, go get an Andre Drummond type, or even I want Buddy Hield. Buddy Hield's the one I want. I think they can get up there, but they're not the ones that I have my eyes on to catch the Nets. I think the Miami Heat can legitimately destroy the Nets. I think Bam
You think
Adebayo is unguardable with the roster you have right now. I think especially if they keep their depth, if Duncan Robinson keeps shooting lights out, I think in a 7-game series they can wear down the Nets.
no?
Especially you have to factor in playoff Harden.
Stop it. You think
I mean, playoff Harden is Andrew Wiggins.
that's all? That's
Maybe
all
Andrew
blown out
Wiggins
of
at
proportion
Kansas,
now.
but he's still Andrew Wiggins.
I may have made those jokes before, but I didn't believe that Harden was a bad playoff player. Look at his stats.
You were right. He's a terrible playoff player.
He's good in the playoffs. He had that one series against the Spurs. He was within 27 missed threes of being in the NBA Finals.
Points are being made. I agree. He's not a historically good playoff player, but we have seen
But he also has
historically guys that struggle in the playoffs, a little change of scenery, a change of role, go to a new team, they tend to perform a little better. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt for now. But if the fat suit wasn't true, if he's actually fat and he has to go and lose weight and they put him on the vegan diet,
oh yeah, he's
now
getting on
he
that.
and Kyrie are vegan,
He's getting
that's a
on the Beyond
problem.
Burger diet.
Vegan is bad.
DeAndre Jordan.
Cam Newton became a vegan. It killed his career.
Who did?
Have you seen all the NFL players that have become vegans and then like immediately had to just like retire?
No.
Arian Foster.
Oh.
Vegan is bad.
Yeah.
So now you're gonna have Kyrie and Harden being vegans.
Yeah, DeAndre Jordan became vegan and now he's unplayable.
Trash.
Yeah. The Nets are the most vegan team on the planet though, so like they have a sponsorship with like Beyond Meat. But yeah, I think that Bam Adebayo is a problem in a Nets Heat matchup. But I just think at the end of the day, superstar players outweigh everything. So usually
This is true.
Superstars will get it done. It's just one way or another.
I mean, like Heat Nets, KD still eats Jimmy Butler's lunch, like no problem.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not as much as he would do against other teams.
Yeah, that's true.
Like you put Nets Philly, that series is over in 4. Embiid puts up 40 a game, but it doesn't matter because the whole team's only scoring 45. So like I wouldn't be scared of Philly. I think the Pacers strike me as a team that like Karras gets there and they could have like a little bit of magic happen.
They could have a nice run, I
So the
think. But
Pacers, I'm not entirely writing out.
I think the Bucks and the Sixers are the two big problems. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. Yeah. And then
I have some Celtics complaining.
go ahead. Yeah. By all means. We talked a lot of Nets on the show. You can
Plenty of Nets. I mean, I came on here to talk Nets today. The Celtics need to stop getting COVID and giving it to each other. It's a legitimate problem. But no, the COVID thing's gonna pass. We're gonna have a season. Maybe they shut it down for a couple weeks, which honestly I think would be smart. I think if they bubbled, that would be awesome again. But it's tough to ask the players to do that for like 8.
Yeah, it's one thing for like 6 weeks or 2 months. It's another thing for the entire season. But also, it's like the protocols are weird. It's like I don't get how Seth Curry could be on the bench with COVID, and then both the Sixers can play the next game.
Can still keep playing. It's weird. I also think that the minimum number where it's 8, you only have to have 8 to play a game. That's too low. Guys are gonna get hurt playing extended minutes that don't usually play extended minutes. They're gonna get hurt.
That's true. But we saw this with every. We saw this with every league. Like the MLB had an issue for like a couple weeks. NFL obviously had a couple of issues. So and then after we get through, if they
but
can
it's
get
only in the beginning, and then
if they can
what
get
happens is these leagues they'll start getting a lot of COVID in the beginning, and then I don't even know that the COVID goes down. I think they just start lying about it.
Yeah,
and I think that's what we're gonna see the NBA do.
That's probably it.
But yeah, so the Celtics rookie Peyton Pritchard has been off to a great start. He's had a couple of like tip-in electric stuff. You would think that like general Boston Twitter, based on their reaction, you would actually think that he is LeBron James. And it is driving me absolutely insane because people are like, Pritchard's the best player on the team. We don't need Kemba. Trade Kemba. Like, this guy can run 30 minutes a game. He's awesome. He's great. He is a classic 4-year college player that comes into the NBA, knows the game like the back of his hand, and can come in, insert a great role off the bench, maybe hit a couple of threes, hustle a little. He's nothing special.
Wow.
It's great to have a little bit of guard depth, and that's all he adds. But you would actually think by like drunk white guy Boston Twitter that he's the best because he's short and white just like the rest of us.
But that's what Twitter's for, right? Just to hype up guys who you like and just shit on.
But it pisses me off because then they can start saying trade Kemba, and I don't want to trade Kemba.
That's true. I mean, he's been like very good, right? I haven't seen much Celtics basketball, but he had the game winner against
he's been like, don't get me wrong, I love him. He's great. He's been great. I just think we need to pump the brakes on him a little bit.
That's fair. Because
the takes are getting out of hand.
Every fan base has that one guy that like thinks solve all.
Well, we already have Marcus Smart for that.
Yeah.
That's my problem. We have Marcus Smart and Semi Ojeleye, where we're just like, they're Hall of Famers.
Yeah. For the Nets, that's Bruce Brown. Everyone thinks Bruce Brown's the answer, which let's pump the brakes.
That's because he might be. Pump the brakes, but he might be.
I like Bruce Brown. I don't think he solves every issue the Nets have. But yeah.
Points are being made.
Is that it? We don't.
All right. That's what I got for you on the Celtics. Anything else happen?
Not really. I thought we were gonna. Literally last night I thought it was gonna be the Kyrie show. Prediction on the Jets.
I think the stress about Kyrie is kind of cut out after this.
Oh yeah, this having 3 superstars, even if one of them doesn't play, like if Kyrie goes AWOL, you still have a championship opportunity with Durant and James Harden, because James Harden adds ball handling too, with what they desperately need without Kyrie.
Yeah.
So that's That's it.
All right.
Yeah, I guess.
Jets next coach.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. Marvin Lewis.
Rex Ryan.
I like that. All right.
Yeah.
Anything else? I mean, Nets play in 10 minutes, which I don't even know what their starting lineup's going to be. But
how does it work with the trade? Does Harden have to quarantine? Or are they just going to let him run into the locker room?
Issue. I don't know.
I think a little quarantine for him would be good. Just get him a giant hamster wheel and just say 2 weeks, get running, kid. We'll feed you, but that's about it.
And also the Brooklyn strip clubs are going to have themselves an influx of cash.
He's got to start signing up for VIP memberships and stuff. He has to figure out where they all are and then find an apartment that's, a central location, like all that. He has to get his limousine service right. He has a lot to do.
Cuomo's going to be on his ass.
Basketball can wait.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But yeah, I think that's our show. We got 2 more virtual shows, and then we'll be back in the stew. Hopefully, by February.
We'll be back in the stew. Are we going to be able to do it right when we get back to school?
I don't know. I don't know what the deal with that is, but we do have to sign up.
Questionable.
Pending, yeah. We do have to sign up for a showtime though, so we got to do that at some point. But yeah, we'll figure it out. Thank you. I mean, this was like the biggest turnout we've had yet. A lot of people in the chat.
Seriously, we got plenty of people today.
5 people in here. Thanks everyone for listening. We'll be back next week. Peace.